Ukulele Magazine, folks. I am so incredibly excited to talk about this really sweet song. One thing that Craig and I have been enjoying on our ukulele journey is learning a bunch of children's songs that have been sung and are currently sung here on our islands. And this is one that's a very typical one. That is, I feel like every child here grows up and learns. It's called Aloha Kakahiaka, and that is good morning. And of course, this song goes through a couple of different greetings, right? So you have Aloha Kakahiaka, Aloha Awinala, which is good afternoon, and of course, Aloha Ahi Ahi, which is good evening. You could also throw in there Aloha Avakea, which is like good day, because you've got your morning, the daytime, the afternoon, and then the evening. But the original, if you go and find the original of this song, it's actually just the three: good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So what I decided to do for the magazine was kind of talk a little bit about the history of the song, but then also go into like a couple of different ways that you could do a chord melody of it, which I'll walk through in just a second. Right now, let's just strum through the basics. Now, one thing that I do want to say, sort of as a disclaimer, is this song has been sung for many, many years, and some people learn the melody a little bit differently, depending on who your teacher is, etc. So I might not be doing it the way that maybe you learned growing up, but this is how it was taught to me from an elementary school teacher. So this is the version that I use. So let's go through. It's very simple. You'll start with your C chord, open, 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 and 3 for C. And then the only other chord we have is G7, open, 2, 1, 2. So not too bad. Let's just go through. That way you can get the melody in your ear before I go through and just walk through the short chord melody I have for it. So get your C ready, and you can just a good old regular plain Jane strum. If you want to do an island style strum, doesn't matter to me. Ready? Here we go. Aloha Kakahiaka means good morning to you. Repeat. Aloha Kakahiaka means good morning to you. Second line. Aloha Third line. Aloha Kakahiaka means good morning to you. Now, if you do the rest of the verses, for example, Awinala, that's good afternoon. And so you might have to change a little bit of the phrasing because of the syllables, right? So you, Aloha, Awinala means good afternoon to you, right? And same with Ahi Ahi. Aloha, Ahi Ahi means good evening to you. And the beautiful thing about songs like this is you could actually use any language. It doesn't have to be Hawaiian language. So if you're teaching in a classroom, whether it's to one student or multiple students and, they're younger, you can totally ask them, how do you say, good morning in your family? And maybe they speak Japanese at home or French or whatever it may be. And you can totally throw this in. I think in the magazine, I mentioned like aloha, bonjour, like you kind of mix it because bonjour means good day in French, but like it's not as long as aloha kakahiaka. So that's another way you can kind of lengthen things too if you need to. Aloha, buenos dias, right? So just things to think about as you're working with kids. Now let's dive into that chord melody for a bit. This one is really easy. As far as chord melody goes, you got time to get places, and you're utilizing a lot of open strings. And it's great because you only have 2 chords you really have to worry about. So very first thing I would do is actually get prepped already on the 7th fret and probably already have my pinky there. And then I might also already have my index finger ready on that 3rd fret because I know I'm going to end up doing, right? So therefore, I might as well be prepared, right? So again, getting ready, open G string, If you play low G, just cover the 3rd fret with this index finger while you're holding this. I know the tab doesn't have that written there, but this is a C chord. It's you could call it a power chord or C5 because it just has the root and the 5th happening in it. Okay? And you could just hold this the whole time if you wanted to. And then it's, or excuse me, right? Versus doing the open. It sounds a little fuller with the E note, but again, if you play low G and you want to keep it simple for yourself, that's one way you can do so. So try that again. We have our open G. Let's try that one more time without accidentally hitting the C. So we have that chord, that note, and then chord. Now, I do take my index and cover 2 strings, and I go back and forth between the 2 Gs. Right? Between the 2 G notes, I should say. I like how that sounds versus doing or doing, right? I like being able, they're both ringing with each other. I personally like that sound. That's why I wrote it the way that I did. So again, we'll start, get ourselves ready. G string, cover the E string, and then get ready again for that 7th fret and the 3rd fret. Nice. Not too bad. One more time. 1, 2, and 3, and cover 2. And then strum again. Means good. And now we have a chord change. Chord change is going to be a G7. G7's here. Then we're going to move it up to what Craig calls the gigantic G7 or big G7. You're going to move this whole thing up, doot, doot, 2 frets, except these 2 fingers are also going to scoot open. So it looks like a really big triangle, a really big G7. So I'm holding open, 5, 3, and 5. And that's the end of the word morning. So you have more, move everything up, ning, move it all back down, 2, and then C. Nice. Let's try that again. G7 here. Move it all up to the 3rd and 5th frets. Move it all back down to the 1st and 2nd fret. And then C. Now notice when I do that, I am not doing this. Right? That's very inefficient. And I also had to look at my hands in order to make sure I got there. Doing this and sliding up, you can feel the frets. You don't have to look for, quite as long, if at all, if you've practiced it enough, and then moving back down and then C. Okay, so let's try this. Now, one thing you might have noticed when I went through and played that, after I did the 2 G notes, I accidentally left my finger covering and then moved it. And it sounded just fine. So again, you can totally do that in that not including the pickup, the 2nd measure. You can do that and it's not a big deal. So let's go through and do that first line. 1, 2, 3. Not too bad. And there's a repeat sign. So then we can do it again. So again, pinky, go ahead and get ready. Open G string. 2 strings. And then yeah! It sounds so lovely, right? Then we get to move way up our neck. And the beautiful thing is these are long whole notes happening right now, or almost whole notes. In the next measure, you got 3 beats. You can be holding that chord if you'd like. So you have lots of time. So you'll end up hitting your open G string for the low. Now we need to get to the low, which is going to just be what looks like a G, but up here on the 7th and 8th fret. So my G string is still open, so it gets to ring while I'm holding this chord, and I'm holding open 7, 8, 7. Beautiful chord. So you have that open G string, Aloha, and then you can move it down to this C next, which is open 4, 3, and 3. You could also just do open, 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 and 3, and no one will know, okay? I like this because it's making you do another position of chord, and also you're gonna have to come back up high again. So I like just having everything already up high, because if I have my ring finger here, it's a little bit more of a leap to get back up high again. So let's do that again, where I'm holding what looks like a G chord, but it's a C, open 7, 8, 7. So open G first, and then move it down to open 4, 3, 3. Then you have another open G. While that's ringing, of course, you can move up to what looks like that G chord again, 7, 8, 7, but you're gonna add your pinky, boop, to the 10th fret. And then take the pinky away. Yeah, so let's try that again from the very top. So you have Aloha, not the very, very top, but the top of this second measure. So open G, Aloha, move it down to the 3rd and 4th fret. And then the G string, add a friend, take the friend away. Yeah! Sounding good, right? And you're learning potentially new chords up your neck. Let's do it one more time, and then we'll continue on. So start with your open G, 2, 3, move it down. And then you've got your G string, add a friend, and take the friend away. And the beautiful thing is the third line you should recognize, because it's almost exactly line 1. So then we've gotten here, get yourself prepared, 7th fret, 2 strings, 7th fret and the 3rd fret, means good, G7, move it up, move it back down. Yay! Let's go through and play the whole thing. All right, get ready. We've got the 7th fret and the 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3. Two, 3. Ready, here we go. Move it down, back up, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Third, and that's it. Now you can share this really sweet song where we get to learn how to greet each other in Olelo Hawaii, Hawaiian language. And it's a very cute and sweet chord melody too, allowing you to move around your fretboard. One small thing that I do want to add is during this part, you can do, and then same here with all open strings, if you wanted to. But again, I chose to arrange it so you had to actually play a new chord in a different place because I wanted to hear other notes changing, not just the notes on the A string. So I hope you have a lot of fun playing Aloha Kakahiaka. It's a really great tune, and I find it gets stuck in my head a whole lot. So have fun singing it and greeting your friends in Olelo Hawaii, and I hope you had fun playing and learning the chord melody with me.